everybody, welcome back. It's Cape Rugby TV time. Rugby is truly back. So much rugby to talk about. Of course, lots of club rugby. That's what we're going to be taking a look tonight. But before we get started, big thanks, of course, to our partners on board with us. Score Energy Drinks. You can win yourself a case of Score during the course of the show, so make sure you don't go anywhere. MChem 24-hour pharmacy. We'll talk about that a little bit later during the course of the show. They are pushing through even with the load shedding. And of course, Thorburn Security Solutions. There you see their logo behind me right now. If you need someone to look after your events, you need sports sponsorship, you need catering, the list goes on and on, then Thorburn Specialized Services is in fact the company for you. But let me welcome the panel this evening. Jerome Paarl. Jerome, how are things with you, meneer?
No, good, JP. Good to be back after, I think, 3 weeks? 3 weeks?
3 weeks or so,
yeah. But also busy and helping the Craven Week guys a bit. Coming Monday, we start with the under-21s training.
We're going to talk about that still during the course of the show.
So start to get busy again.
All the wheels are turning. Robert Olivier. Robert, welcome back.
Thank you, JP. Always nice to be here with you and Jerome. Also,
I was going to say that you're a neutral party, but I see you're Hamiltons on the top and the bottom today.
All the way.
Today, yeah. But of course, we're going to talk neutral. But we know you guys have got a big weekend, a big match this weekend. So I think it's maybe appropriate, Jerome. These old derbies that we see, Villages, Hamiltons, big derby.
Yeah, big derby is always good and it's always lekker. So I say, bragging rights for the whole year.
Yeah, those two.
If you lose that game, you don't sleep for a whole year.
Yeah, lots of comebacks there, lots of stories. Yeah. So, folks, we've got a couple of games for you that, of course, we keep saying send in your games. We're happy to talk about it, but some really exciting games. Gordons Bay Pioneers has been on the climb. They were up against Fisante this weekend. We went out there. We got some of the highlights from the first half, second half, of course, and some interviews. We're also going to take a look at the match between Tigerberg and False Bay this past weekend. Hamiltons versus Paarl. And of course, you can then stick around for some of the results, logs, and fixtures, and of course, fantastic conversation. But let's take a look now at the first half of Gordons Bay Pioneers against Fisante. The following features brought to you by Score Energy Drinks, MChem 24-hour pharmacy, and Thorburn Security Solutions. This feature was brought to you by MChem 24-Hour Pharmacy, Score Energy Drinks, and Thorburn Security Solutions. All right, folks, so Gordons Bay Pioneers going 29-7 into the halftime there. Jerome, your thoughts on the game?
No, look, both sides were full of running.
Yeah.
I think there were 2 tries against the run of play where Fisante on the attack, intercept and 1 loose ball. But I think quite a good first half.
Robert, you kept asking, who's this player, who's that player? You seem to be enjoying the first half.
Oh, I think there was just absolute excitement in that first half,
Yeah.
both ways, like Jerome pointed out. But some exceptional running from the 10 and the 13 from Gordons Bay Pioneers. Forwards doing the basics, and then when it opens up at the back, they just take it.
It's of course a Metro League final year. How much of a difference, Jerome, would this have made for these players on an occasion like this?
Yeah, look, you can see, I mean, Gordons Bay the whole season, they've been playing good rugby, and those 2 teams playing there was a true reflection of how the season went in that league. So great rugby, and if you look at this league, it's like it almost looked like a Super B game. So it's good rugby from both sides.
Yeah, well, we're going to talk more about that. Don't go away. We're, of course, profiling the match between Gordons Bay Pioneers and Fisante. Gordons Bay 29-7 in the first half, going to the lead. This was the final of the Metro League. Both teams, of course, done extremely well. We're going to also talk a little bit about the growth of Gordons Bay Pioneers and where they come from over the last few years. But yeah, folks, do not go away. We've still got a lot of club rugby action coming up. We'll be back in a sec. Don't go away. Well, welcome back, everybody. In studio with me, Jerome Paarl, Western Province Rugby. Jerome, now you start coaching the under-21s?
Yeah, we're starting Monday with the pre-season. Our first game is in August.
Things don't stop for you. I mean, it feels like you've just stopped at the Curry Cup a few days ago.
Yeah. Didn't really have a break. This
Yeah.
week is like the only time that I have a bit of off time.
Yeah.
But start Monday again, yeah.
Yeah. And Robert Whitfield, Hamilton's coach. But Robert, when you're sitting here, you're wearing a Cab Rugby TV cap. Although today you're wearing Hamilton's cap. How? I mean, folks. We'll come back to the Gordons Bay Pioneers game in a second, Robert. But the gears of club rugby back.
Definitely,
you feel?
Definitely, JP. You can see this. I mean, we just had this discussion through the ad break that it looks like a Super B League game that we're watching. And definitely, I mean, if you think of what's happening around Cape Town with rugby, it's amazing.
Yeah,
I can understand that Jerome is just running from one thing to another. We were there at the Craven Week last week. It's just a lot of excitement boiling over for rugby.
Yeah, we've got to talk to you guys about the Craven Week in a second. But let's take a look at the second half highlights. Gordons Bay Pioneers and Fisante. The following feature is brought to you by Score Energy Drinks, MChem 24-Hour Pharmacy, and Thorburn Security Solutions. This feature was brought to you by MChem 24-Hour Pharmacy, Score Energy Drinks, and Thorburn Security Solutions. Right, folks, so Gordons Bay Pioneers then ending up as the winners, 61 points to 17. Big result there, Jerome.
Yeah, if you look at the second half now, the difference between the teams, I would say like the defense of Fisante wasn't good in the second half because it was pretty much a one-sided the try scoring of Gordons Bay. But if you look at the game also, the score, you look at the score, it says something different, but Fisante never gave up.
I mean, it doesn't look like Robert, I mean, it doesn't look like the scoreline is a true reflection of the game.
No, definitely not. We saw Fisante come back at the end here to score 2 brilliant tries.
Yeah.
I just think the pressure that Pioneers kept on them was excellent. I mean, that 10 Jerome is an absolute beast.
Yeah.
The way he read the play, distributing the ball outwards, he has a lot of speed. Well done for Pioneers.
Is that still the case? Is that still the case, Jerome? The fly-off controls the game?
Yeah, you can see. I mean, I've seen a few highlights of him this season. He's pretty much the main guy of Pioneers, and I mean, if you have a 10 like that, you can see the space. And I mean, he's not selfish, but when the opportunity is there, he can run through the whole team. But most of the time, his decision making is right. He passed the ball at the right time. You can also see like he's a good kicker for Paarl, so he's sort of a perfect 10, and I don't know for how long he's going to play in this league, because obviously if guys are going to see him, he's going to get some calls.
You think he's going to get scouted?
He's going to definitely get some calls.
Right, guys. Right, folks. MChem 24-Hour Pharmacy, of course, on the corner of N1 and Durban Road. You can see it behind me on the screen there. We spoke about this last week. You know, MChem Pharmacy open 24/7, free parking, fantastic different zones in the pharmacy for you to go to. They've got everything that you need. And if they don't have specifically on the day, they'll find it for you. Really good brands, fantastic prices, and the standout thing for me about MChem is the service, is that there is somebody always there for you. And we spoke about this last week, in fact, even with the load shedding. And you know, during the COVID times, MChem was really making an effort, because that's what they do, to be there for you. And they're doing it again, even during load shedding, where we see so many retails, shops, and businesses not able to trade because of load shedding. MChem 24 hours stays open. They stay there for you. So on the corner of N1 and Durban Road in Bellville, you can simply park there, go inside. There's always somebody there to help you from the minute that you walk in. They've got all the different zones, from the dispensary to the surgical orthopedic zone to the sports section upstairs. Really, there's a travel clinic. So what you need will be at MChem. And as I said, if there's by any chance that they don't have it, they'll find it for you. And that's really what I love about MChem, is that they're always there for you. Folks, we'll take a break. When we come back, we'll carry on talking club rugby. Back in a sec. Welcome back, everybody. You're right, it's Cape Rugby TV time. Jerome, is the weather playing ball with you? Are you warm? Or are you just, I mean, you rugby guys are used to playing in the rain.
Yeah, no, I'm warm, JP, and I mean, I like the rain. I love the rain. So really? That we have some water, because we're already on load shedding. We can't have water cut also, so I love the rain.
It's incredible for me, Robert, how resilient our clubs are. We've gone through droughts, we've gone through floods, we've gone through, I don't know about floods, but we've had a lot of water in Cape Town. Eskom load shedding, communities and players keep playing rugby.
Yeah, but I've seen a lot of plans made. Cars being pulled around fields for lights. Begging HBC if you can borrow 2 of their spotlights to practice. So we're doing everything we can just to keep going.
And Jerome, he just summed up club rugby in a couple of words. The resilience of the people to play rugby. As you said, players who don't even have fields, for example. I think the Collegians field is still not available, right? So Collegians, the players finding other clubs to play. Some players practicing in the parking lot, or finding a place where there's floodlights. I mean, it's incredible what club rugby can do for sport. I mean, this is really how we see sport contributing to society.
No, it is, JP. It's amazing. I went to do assess a coach at Goodwood, the under 20 coach of Goodwood, last week, and their lights are not all the lights are on, so they have a few lights on, and they make do. I mean, the field is still full of players. There's the under 20s, there's the second team, there's the first team. The guys are on the field, and it's amazing for me to see the skills, how the guys handle, because if you go past halfway line, then it's almost completely dark. But it's amazing to see how the boys are still catching the ball and how they're still passing. And I mean, obviously, if you play during the day, then there's no excuse to drop a ball if they can do it in the dark. So, but it's just amazing what the clubs are doing, and I mean, they just continue, and they don't moan. They just continue, and the players come and they just work and they just do their job and they finish and they put in the hour and a half and they're done.
Yeah, it is really, folks. You've got to take your hat off, not just to the players, but the administrators, the guys who are coaching behind the scenes, opening the doors. You know, we're still in the sports space where sport is primarily driven by volunteers, people who work during the day and at the end of the day go and sacrifice their time. So, in fact, if you are a player or a fan watching this show right now, do me a favor, every now and then go say thanks to the coach and chairmen and the executive members from the clubs, and just say thanks for running the club. It does make a lot of difference, and you know, every now and then just to say thank you. But let's move forward. Right, so we had a look at the Gordons Bay Pioneers Fisante Paarl game before the break, and we of course also managed to catch up with some of the captains and coaches there. And important for us to focus on the captains and coaches who are just, as I said, are putting in so much time and effort. Nicholas January is the head coach for Fisante Paarl. He spoke to us after the game. The following feature is brought to you by Score Energy Drinks, MChem 24-hour Pharmacy and Thorburn Security Solutions.
Ja, ik kan vir jou sê, die ouens het so gebrand, dat ons hy aane wat ons moet kom oefen. Velde is vol, jy kan regtig eens rekord hou van hulle nie so. Ons is baie excited geweest toe hy 2 jaar verby is met die COVID. Het ons regtig waar uitgesien om weer eens op gras te kan kom. Ons het evens, die gras was nie nat gemaak nie, maar ons het seker gemaak, guys, elke aande by practice, en ons het dit goed gedoen. In groei, ja, ons het baie gegroei nou in die laaste 2 jaar, nou het ons vinnig gegroei. Ons het die meerderheid, het ons nou onder 20 spelers wat ons daar het, en wat hand opsteek om in die eerste span te speel. Ons oorweeg hulle baie, maar ons is nog steeds voorsigtig. So ons brei hulle maar tot hulle nou reg op hy vlak is, en dan bring ons hulle maar so stadig in. Maar die ouens steek hand op. Ja, ons leer het foute uit en ons kapitaliseer op dit, en dan werk ons maar volgens die strakse wat ons het en wat ons implement. So ons is bly vir die verloor, dat ons kan sien waar ons foute vanaf kom, en dan werk ons op die foute en ons maak seker ons pluk vrugte van dit.
This feature was brought to you by MChem 24-hour Pharmacy, Score Energy Drinks and Thorburn Security Solutions. All right, folks, I think you probably heard there firsthand an echo of what it was that I was saying before the break, Jerome.
Yeah, no, it is, and I mean, you can see how passionate Nicholas is in talking about the players and the numbers at the training and the under 20s, and keep the guys busy. And I mean, they've gone through COVID, and now they're just happy to play and to see all the players at the field, as you were mentioning. So it's good. I mean, it's a small community, but what they do in the community and what rugby do and what sport do, it's amazing. And I mean, it's not just for the players, but it's also for the people of that community to go out and to do something else on a Saturday. It's just good.
Robert, we heard it there firsthand, and that happens at all clubs. I mean, to have a club structure where you've got your second team players and your third team players, and we heard it from the coach saying they are hungry and they are challenging for the first team. I mean, isn't that great?
Yeah, it's absolutely amazing to see guys, especially when you have invested in the junior rugby, and the guys are coming up, and then a few years later they're back at your under 20s. This year for us, for instance, 2-3 of our under 20s that's played first SLA games against Marties and Aikis and the big guys, and that's amazing. Just to have that pool of guys, just to invest in them whilst they are young. But Coach Nicky's passion and for his club and for what they're trying to do there is, I take my hat off for him. They must just continue doing it. Well done for Fisante Paarl.
Yeah, you just took the words out of my mouth. Let's catch up with the captain, Heinrich Boertes. The following feature is brought to you by Score Energy Drinks, MChem 24-hour Pharmacy and Thorburn Security Solutions.
Ja, het voelt baie goed om weer terug op die veld te wees. Soos jullie sê, het was een paar moeilijke 2 jaar met die rugby wat af en aangewees het, maar ons is het goed om terug te wees vandaag op die rugbyveld. So, ja, ons is een paar hele jong oukies hier in onze span wat graag hulle wil die ding doen. Wat ek sê, dus ik ga niet zo lekker bij ons, maar ons doen ook maar van het beste van de soorten situatie bij ons. Dus wat daar is niet te goed gegaan bij ons. Een keer teleurstellende uitslag, maar als vooruit maar zoals het komt, kijk maar naar de volgende wedstrijd toe. Daar is een paar positieve dingen, maar meestal negatieve dingen. Je gaat nog niet praten over, maar een paar positieve uit te gaan met een paar youngsters wat ook game gekregen tot dag in de eerste span. Dat ook stalige wijze toe hulle opgekomen. Maar dan is het weer een beetje zwaar en ze zien voorlangs. Als hulle een beetje oor is, dan zien hulle beter afgerig als ons. Maar zeg maar weer eens, geluk aan Gordons bij hulle win.
This feature was brought to you by MChem 24-hour Pharmacy, Score Energy Drinks and Thorburn Security Solutions. Right, folks, so our hats off then to Heinrich Boertes, captain of Fisante Paarl. Certainly showing some leadership qualities there under some difficult conditions. Gordons Bay Pioneers head coach Johan van Eerden spoke to us after the game. They, of course, came out smiling after this game. The following feature is brought to you by Score Energy Drinks, MChem 24-hour Pharmacy and Thorburn Security Solutions.
Ek dink ons is geseën met groot voorspelers en jy weet alles gaan oor 'n broederskap wat ons create onder die spelers. Daai samesyn, speel vir mekaar, speel vir die try. Ek dink ons mix is reg in wat ons het. Ons het flair agter, ons het groot voorspelers, ons het mobile flanke, mobile agste man. So ons is gelukkig. Jy weet en die ouens moet hulle gaan begin regop sit. Kyk wie ons is. Dit is 'n remuneraar. Dis jy weet ek dink die mense sien ons is die baba van die Tigerberg. Die koerant het gepraat van ons gaan die eerste silverware bring hierdie weer. So wat ons gedoen het. In dieselfde asem wil ons vir die clubs in die Tigerberg wys ons is kompeterend en ons kom om in daai ligas te speel. Ek dink ons aim is om zones 1-2 jaar Super C en kom ons kyk van daar af. So ons vooruitsigte is goed. Ek dink ons dink 'n bietjie out of the box. So, jy weet, mense moet ons dophou. Yes man, ek sal vir jou sê die support van die gemeenskap is ongelooflik en ultimately is dit is wat ons doen. Jy weet, dis 'n gemeenskapsklub. Ons soek die mense hier. Dit gee vir ons purpose. Dit gee vir die mense 'n bietjie meer purpose. So meer van die gemeenskap uitkom, die mense begin glo, hulle begin inkoop in die klub. Ek dink ons kon dit sien in die crowd vandag. So dis great. Dis great. Jy weet, ek hoop ons kan net bou en die mense hou aan met kom.
This feature was brought to you by MChem 24-hour Pharmacy, Score Energy Drinks and Thorburn Security Solutions. Johan van Eerden there, folks. He's, of course, head coach now at Gordons Bay Pioneers. Jerome, you've been we've been talking club rugby now for about 20 years. Started, of course, at Good Hope FM. From there, we moved to Cape Rugby. Now, 12 years later, these are the stories that we're talking about. This is what club rugby is about. He's talking about the community, looking after the club, growing the club. This is the heart and soul of a true club rugby coach.
Yeah, I mean, definitely for anyone taking on a job like that, I mean, they start from the bottom. And if I just hear how we speak about where they want to be, and it's not impossible because what they were busy with and they're passionate about what they're doing. And to be involved with that, building something, and to see how it grows, I mean, they can just reap the benefits at the end because they know they have a vision. And that's what club rugby is about. You must have a vision and you must have a goal to achieve. And they have that vision and you can see what they're trying to do. And I also know Lucas de Beer is a big role in playing there in Gordons Bay in the rugby. He said from the start that is his dream to play Super B and to play Super A. And I mean, that's what we want in Western Province Rugby. In a community like Strand, we know there's a lot of clubs there, but they're all competitive, and it's good. It's good for rugby. It's good for the community and for everyone.
Let's quickly catch up with the head coach, Charlton October, folks. Oh, sorry, captain of Gordons Bay Pioneers, Charlton October. The following feature is brought to you by Score Energy Drinks, MChem 24-hour Pharmacy and Thorburn Security Solutions.
Dis is na 'n paar jaar wat ek uitgemis het. Dis het voel baie goed. Ja nee, ons man, ons verstaan is 'n local club, wat ons het onsself opgebring met die spanne wat ek het myself opgebring tot waar ons vandag. Ja nee, wat die coaches vir ons practice het ons afgebring vandag om vir ons te kan bewys wie ons is regtig. Ons maak dit maklik vir ons Gordons Bay GBP.
This feature was brought to you by MChem 24-Hour Pharmacy, Score Energy Drinks, and Thorburn Security Solutions. Right, folks, so Charlton October, Gordons Bay Pioneers captain, talking to us there after the game. Robert, listening to Johan, listening to Charlton, you can only go home, win or lose. You can only go home as a club coach, as a captain at the end of the day with a good feeling. Even both sides, Fisante, captain and coach, it doesn't matter win or lose on the day. What you're going home with there is a feel-good feeling.
And definitely both these teams have that feel-good feeling.
Yeah.
Yes, Pioneers has got the silverware. What stood out for me was when Johan said he chose his players correctly for this game. The flanks were mobile, the 8-man was mobile, the 10 was, we saw it. So they got the balance right. And Fisante is something that they're going to focus on going forward. And at the end of the day, both these teams played an excellent game of rugby as a Metro final.
Yeah. Well done, guys. Well done to both sides. Fantastic stuff. This is what club rugby is all about. We'll take a break. When we come back from the break, we'll take a look at the match between, of course, Tigerberg and False Bay. And, of course, we'll talk to you also about the match coming up in the last segment between Hamiltons and Paarl. Back in a sec. Don't go away. Welcome back, everybody. Right, in studio with me, if you've just joined us, Jerome Paarl. Jerome, nice to have you back.
Good to be back, JP.
Robert Williff here, also nice to have you back.
Always nice to
Yeah,
be
we're
with
giving
you.
the thumbs up there. Right, folks, we had some big matches over the weekend. Tigerberg was up against False Bay. We're going to take a look at the first half and the second half. And then we're going to give you an opportunity to win yourself a case of Score Energy Drinks. That's, of course, if you're able to spot the ball, so don't go anywhere. But you can enter that competition on Facebook. Just quickly, gentlemen, False Bay sitting at the top of the log. In fact, no, Unimil. Unimil sitting at the top of the log, followed by False Bay. And then it's, of course, Durbar sitting at number 3 on the log, followed by UCT and then Hamiltons. And then, of course, Marty's. But there's still quite a few games to go.
I think most club 3-4 games left.
Yeah.
Ikes and Marty's obviously I think about 6 games left, coming back from USA now, so they'll be catching up a bit. But yeah, interesting top 6, and still 1 or 2 guys knocking that's putting pressure. Anything that goes anywhere in the next 2 weeks can have a big implication on the top 6.
It's going to be interesting. Let's take a look now. First off, highlights between False Bay and Tigerberg. False Bay travelled to Tigerberg to take on Tigerberg and the Tira fans. The following feature is brought to you by Score Energy Drinks, MChem 24-Hour Pharmacy, and Thorburn Security Solutions. This feature was brought to you by MChem 24-Hour Pharmacy, Score Energy Drinks, and Thorburn Security Solutions. Right, folks, so first half there, False Bay leading 17 points to 7. Jerome, your thoughts so far?
Now, if you look at the first half, I would say a couple of mistakes from Tigerberg's side on defense. Saw their 13 shoot up and didn't make the tackle, which lead to a try. At the end, also their bad defense from Tigerberg in this first half. So I think, yeah, and you know, a team like False Bay, if they're in your 22, they'll score if your defense is not jacked up. So maybe the coaches talk at halftime and they correct it in the second half, because I can only see that, because we know Tigerberg like to run with the ball and play. I also think like too much time in the 22 and the 9 make it too slow. You want it slow but not too slow, because they give the defense to be organized there. So I think, but hopefully they'll correct it in the second half.
Well, it's only half time, and you're going to first see what comes out in the second half. You know, my money's on Tigerberg in this one, folks. Let's take a look and see what happens in the second half. The following feature is brought to you by Score Energy Drinks, MChem 24-Hour Pharmacy, and Thorburn Security Solutions. This feature was brought to you by MChem 24-Hour Pharmacy, Score Energy Drinks, and Thorburn Security Solutions. Well, there you go, folks. It ended up being, and then I lost my money there on that one. False Bay winning 31 points to 17. But we haven't seen a match from Tigerberg in a while, Jerome. For me, I just really enjoyed watching the two teams playing rugby.
Yeah, no, it's good. And as we said, like at halftime, you could see Tigerberg correct on their defense. They correct that a bit. And I mean, at one stage, the score was like, it seems like it was quite tight till the end.
Yeah.
And then just seeing the experience of the pack of False Bay coming through, scrumming Tigerberg, scoring a try there at the end there. And yeah, and again, I don't think like the score is not 31-17,
17, yeah.
but it's not really a true reflection of the game. I think that score just pick up the last 5 minutes of the game. So well done for Tigerberg coming back there, and I think they really did well, and especially in the second half. And I know Chris October, the coach there, he's a defensive coach, so he'd obviously talk quite loudly at the break there with them and telling them what to do. So well done for them coming back. Losing the game is not good, but I mean, it wasn't as bad as it seems.
I'm just happy to see good rugby. This is what we're looking for. But folks, we are a bit pushed for time. Robert, ordinarily I would run to you, but we're going to jump straight to this now and see if you are able to win yourself. Well, you're not going to win it because you're on the show, but I'm going to pretend. Let's see if you can spot the ball, folks. Of course, every week we take a look and see where the ball is. This photograph kindly provided by Zahid Apollos. You have an opportunity, folks, every week to win a case of Score energy drinks. All you need to do is go to our Facebook page. Right, so yeah, we have a fantastic picture, which you, and that does look to me, is that Busy Bees in there? Is that Busy Bees and St. George's, yes. All right, so we see A1, A2, A3, B1, B2, B3, C1, C2, and C3. Jerome Paarl, do you want to give it a go?
I'll go C1.
You're going to go C1. Robert, what for you?
My Facebook vote is in, and it's B2.
You're going to go with B2. Right, so we've got Jerome going with C1. Robert's going with B2. And I know how sneaky our editor, Mr. Renzo Botman, can be, so I'm going to go with A1. Right, so let's take a look.
Yes.
No, don't trust this guy. I'm telling you, you never know. You never know. All right, there we go, folks. It is, in fact, in C3. So C3 is the correct one. But yes, see what I mean?
Is it Photoshop?
It's definitely Photoshopped.
If you look at all the guys' eyes, look where the ball is, look where they follow.
Everybody's looking in the other direction.
The bounce
right.
of a rugby ball.
I'm not even sure if that ball's from the same game, to be honest. But congratulations to Franco Pettinger, who walks away with a case of Score this week. Congratulations, Franco. We were going to get in touch with you on Facebook. Right, folks, when we come back from the break, it's time for us to take a look then at our last match, which was, of course, the match between Paarl and Hamilton's. Coming up next. Don't go away. You're watching Cape Rugby TV here on Cape Town TV, DSTV channel 263. Just a reminder, if you are watching the show and you're watching here on Cape Town TV, at some other stage, folks, there is going to be a switch from what they call the analog signal, where it's getting switched off in South Africa, to the digital signal. And for those of you that are watching free-to-air at the moment, in other words, you're watching off one of the transmitters, or not on a digital, you need to look at getting yourself what's called a digital set-top box. This is a box that you can get at certain retail stores. I think you can apply for it at the post office. There are certain rebates in place, but start looking at getting yourself the set-top box, which then allows you to watch the signal, the channel, digitally via your television. So start thinking about getting that set-top box before the migration takes place, or at least before the cutoff. It's very important that South Africa, in fact, those that have been watching free-to-air, start looking at getting these little set-top boxes for yourself. As I said, available at certain retail stores, and you can also go to the post office to look at your application. Let's take a look now at the match between Hamilton's and Paarl. This was this weekend. We'll take a look first half first. The following feature is brought to you by Score Energy Drinks, MChem 24-Hour Pharmacy, and Thorburn Security Solutions. This feature was brought to you by MChem 24-Hour Pharmacy, Score Energy Drinks, and Thorburn Security Solutions. All right, folks, welcome back. Paarl playing against Hamilton's. Hamilton's playing against Paarl, should I say. Bit of a trip to go play out there, Robert. This is now, of course, straight to you. 21-0 first half, going in favour of Hamilton's, but not an easy game.
Look, JP, the weather didn't play along. It was raining in the start of that game. I could see it affected Paarl's game. Paarl traditionally like to take the ball to the ends and run it. We trying to play a bit closer, hitting up in the 10-12 channel. Balls popping out of the forwards' arms just because of the wetness. And then first 10-15 minutes was a bit scrapey, and then suddenly things started to work for us.
Yeah.
But again, Paarl don't lay down. They don't stop. They just come for you.
I know if I go to Jerome now, he's going to be quite critical. But nevertheless, let's do it anyway. Jerome, your thoughts?
No, it's a tough one for Paarl. I mean, if you look at the first half, I couldn't even see that they had the ball. So I think well done to Hamilton's starving them from ball. I mean, as Robert was saying, that if it gets loose, then Paarl will run your record. So well done to them, but tough for Paarl because they didn't have the hands on the ball the first half.
Yeah, maybe it's also not fair. You know, we're looking at 2 minutes of an 80-minute game. Three tries scored, each one of them converted. In a 40-minute space, there's a lot more happening.
No, definitely, JP. I mean, it was up and down for the first 15-20 minutes. I think it was 0-0 at 15 minutes.
Yeah.
We basically only started getting into our rhythm 20 minutes before the end of the first half. And Paarl didn't make it easy. They made some great tackles, put us under pressure. Obviously, wet ball, a lot of stop-start.
Yeah, let's take a look now. Second half, folks. Of course, Hamilton's playing against Paarl. Super League 8. The following feature is brought to you by Score Energy Drinks, MChem 24-Hour Pharmacy, and Thorburn Security Solutions. This feature was brought to you by MChem 24-Hour Pharmacy, Score Energy Drinks, and Thorburn Security Solutions. Hamilton's walking away then at the end of the day. 40 points to 7 win in Super League A there. Hamilton's over Paarl. Robert, Super League A is getting tight now?
Yeah, it's tight. Every game matters now.
Yeah.
Every point. We always say on the show, so we say we tick boxes. We did what we had to do. Now we're focusing on Friday night's game, and we have to tick those boxes. So I assume every coach, every team is going through the same things, and every game now vital.
Friday night's game, when you're referring to that, you're of course talking about Villages, Hamilton. This is a derby match, goes back more than 100 years.
Yeah, it's the 2 oldest clubs in South Africa. We've had our yearly derby pre-season, but yeah, looking forward, excited about Friday night, and hopefully we can ask Jerome to place a bet and see which way this will go.
No, we're not going to go there. We're going to leave that one alone. Talking about derby matches, this coming weekend, Jerome, Super League C sees Strand United up against Strand. This is the top of the table, bottom and top and bottom clash. This is going to be a derby of note. Super League C, Strand United and the Strand.
Yeah, I think Strand United is the team that's on form.
Strand is on top of the league.
They're on top, so they don't want to lose that game, but it's going to be a tough one. It's a great derby.
Also coming up this Friday night, folks, look out for the match between Masiphumelele and Hamadias. So couple of games, only a few games this weekend, pretty much probably because of the school holiday scenario, people just taking a bit of a break. I'm sure we'll be back at full pace next week. In the meantime, look out for the Women's Rugby League starting soon. We'll also be catching up with the Western Province Rugby under-21s, and we're looking forward to lots more rugby action. Jerome, thank you very much for joining us, and we're looking forward to catching you again, well, next week, if not sooner.
Always a pleasure.
Yeah. And Robert, thank you very much for joining us. I'm not going to say good luck, but good luck.
Thank you, JP. I'll take that with the wink you gave me.
Yeah, we're a neutral. We're a neutral show.
Who do you think is going to win between the Boks and the Wales this week?
We are
right, folks. I'm going to cut it off right there. Now that's the end of the show for us tonight. We hope that you have a fantastic, safe rugby weekend. And as we say at the end of the show, in fact, maybe it's time for us to make a T-shirt or a hoodie that says "Have a fantastic rugby weekend." We'll see you next week. Bye bye.